bug me up.
Okay.
Text me,
I will.
and I'll see what he's doing. You know, that's about good as I can. That's about good enough right there. You know. Well, I think probably nothing more. I wouldn't think than that's some lacquer thinner right there. That's the other half of that cookie tin right there. Okay, I'm just going to hot glue that right on there, centering it up the amount of around that way. I'd say that'd be enough. It has about a ½ inch clearance completely around, about 2 inches deep. So I'm going to fill that up with that evapro-rust. Let it stay about 2 days, then I'll take that down, see what we got left. You know, use hot glue on a flywheel. That's what I'm talking about right there. Get that done. And you know, done got that half a can right there. Done got that hot glued onto that thing right there, and it's done got cool and everything. So, and right down in there is what we're, that governor side flywheel center part. That's the star of the show right there, is to get that thing clean. So we're gonna go at it with this evapro-rust, and that hot glue there. That's that Stanley hot glue right there. And you know, that's the first time I ever used that hot glue right there. And I can say it worked easy enough for me to use it. Let's put it that way. So we'll see how it holds up on this evapro-rust. But this is a brand new. That's a brand new gallon. I've had it in there on the shelf. I should probably shake that up. Well, I've had it in there on the shelf for some amount of time, and it's all I got. It's, you know, I've been saving this for something special. So this is it. So I'm gonna puncture it. You know, that's the first time that's ever been open right there. Yeah. And then I'm gonna fill this cavity up, keeping in mind that on the bottom down there's a hot glued cap that was on this cookie tin when it was new. Yeah, you know, take full responsibility for this idea, even though it don't work. It's not working. Me, take full responsibility for it not working. The process and the product, right, you have to do it wrong in order to do it right the next time. So the key should be addressed at a later time, I would think. But with a beaker down there to catch the dripping, recycle it, put it back through there. You know, it's going to keep me busy for a couple of days, looks like. Go about this a little something different next time. Y'all leave a comment there. You know, subscribe to the channel if you want to. Thank you now. Well, you know, that right there's real life. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was expecting a little bit better outcome of this project. It's been a real comic at this point. I'll have to turn it back upside down and see what actually what's went wrong. But I think I just didn't put enough of that hot glue on that bottom side there. I run out and had to go to the store and get some extra. So there's that. Sure do need that flywheel right there. We're working with it. But you know, well, you know, just dealing with the flywheel as it is, you know, it's not too bad. It has some rust on it. It's going to have to be completely removed. But this is just the condition as it is today, not what it could be or has been. So, you know, all of that's it. So, and we have to have it the story would be if you had done already went and bought this engine at the auction sale, as I did. That I didn't put this engine together. It's just for in here in my care from now on to what we're looking at. There is the failure, the learning experience, I'd rather refer to it, was that when I hear that cookie tin lid to that other side of that flywheel, I didn't apply enough of that hot glue right there. As you can see, when I turned it over, I applied more on the top before I ever started with this. So to remedy that, I done already put that flywheel center onto that piece of sponge was I'm not sure whatever was new, but it's a close knit membrane cell spongy stuff. I'm not sure what that was used for. Insulation, I suspect. And I sandwiched it between that board and the flywheel hub to the point that it sealed off that hole down in there. And if we look down at it, if we look at the picture as a whole, as to it stands here today, as to confirm that this setup actually does work, is, you know, like a full length picture right there, you know. It's a 6 horsepower international type M flywheel, governor side of the engine. And that's the way it looks down in there. So, it's been in there 2 days up to now. So tomorrow sometime, it's kind of cool here. But, you know, I think that's kind of cleaning up a little bit right there. I'm impressed with that. And it's not leaking out. I have a seal now. That was a problem on the get-go. So I have managed to seal up this. That's the boss that sticks out. And you can see right up here, you know, like that right up here where the keyway is. When we get to that on that other engine, you'll see what our problem is. See, that's a real small gap right there. Tapers down. We'll confirm that when we get it scraped clean. To bring us up to update, I'm going to be needing a flywheel here in a few days. So I figured I'd go ahead and clean this. Clean up the boss on that. That's that hot glue right there. That's one of them cookie tins right there. Piece of sponge on the bottom, spaced up on a 2x6 board. Cut off about halfway there, enough to where that the level of it is above that protrusion there for the governor sleeve. We're going to break it down. The evapro-rust It's been in here about 2 days. We're gonna break it down and see our clean metal. I think they say these flywheel weighs about 125 pounds, if I ain't mistaken. I have a tub underneath the bench here to catch that evapro-rust coming out. See, there ain't nothing left to scrape off of that. All the way down to bare metal. There ain't nothing on that. Let's see, that product worked very good on that right there. Oh, I think that'll be clean enough. I'll work on the rest of that wheel right there while we're getting back to that other project in there. Now y'all leave a comment. Yeah, a little sidebar there. You know, just my evaluation of the metal. The only part that's missing there is the rust. Still have pretty much all the metal, but you can see the pits where the rust was ate away the metal. Those are low places. So it's not a situation where you would want to remove any more metal than's there. At this point, you just use those low places as reservoirs for some oil, you know. You know, turned it over there and, you know, kind of cleaned the other side there. That was the sole intent for the what was to clean out that center line in there, that bore there. And I don't think I could have had any better success with any other kind of procedure to get that rust gone from there. Close inspection up close, you know, I would say there was no erosion of the metal. I'd say it was all the rust that's gone. So didn't lose any metal in this project. Now y'all check back there. We'll clean up the rest of it there. I get it up on that engine at some point.